All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so the first question is, I know y'all have said that you are all mass enrollers and you focus on mass enrolling. I do the same. But it seems like no matter how many people I enroll, and none of them are willing to work as hard as I do. So how do you find people specifically who are willing to work as hard as you? I mean, I think that's like 100% mindset. Like, I think we can all agree.
I mean,
Yeah,
for
for
me,
sure.
I would just say, like, I remember telling myself that I couldn't mass enroll distributors, that I was like only a mass enroll for customers, and I was talking about this on a Instagram article. I mean, the second I told myself that I can mass enroll both was when I started to attract people like myself, and that all started with self-development.
Wait, can you guys hear Nay? Maybe you have to come up a little.
Yeah, I would come a little closer.
So that all started with, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so that all started with self-development. I mean, for me, like, I didn't like self-develop in the beginning, and I feel like I, wasn't the best version of myself in this business. And now that I self-develop, that I believe in myself, I attract people like myself, people who are ready to work. And it's not everyone that enrolls with me that works. I mean, it's like here and there, but I just run with my runners, and the people who don't want to work, I just leave be.
Exactly. Honestly, it's mindset as well, but it's also just a numbers game. Jade actually made a live in the Black Diamond a week ago or something when it first started, and she like gave statistics of like enrolling distributors, and you just you have more luck when you enroll more people. That's just how it works.
And the good thing about mass enrolling is that when you're doing that, you don't even realize that some people aren't working. You're so invested in the people that are, and you're helping them so much that the people that aren't working aren't even getting to you. You don't even notice it. So it's awesome. It helps to boost your confidence for sure.
And I also think it's like having faith in the people that you do enroll. I mean, not everyone's going to work like we just said, but you can't like automatically like think that someone's not going to work. Like I remember in the beginning, I used to enroll people. I'd be like, you know what? I don't think they're going to be that good, which was so silly. And then you actually find yourself holding yourself back from teaching them the correct way because you, in your mind, think they're not going to be good. I mean, I haven't been like that for a long time, for over a year, but I think it's easy to think that like this person isn't going to be the best. So you don't invest that much time into them. And then you're just holding yourself back and you never know what that person is capable of.
Does anyone have anything to add? Or does that kind of answer the question? Okay, so I'm done. What does a typical first 48 hours look like with new distributors? Do you provide them with messages to send out to their friends and family and current followers? Do you provide them with their first post to make? And how do you teach them to write posts on their own? I know that you have like this whole system.
So basically what I do is I have them make this list of 30 people. It's kind of silly, but I basically say like the first, or if you didn't have Facebook and you're pregnant, like the first people you would tell, like that.
Guys, it's really hard to hear you.
Am I just talking low, or can you hear me better? I don't know. It's literally right in front of me, like holding it.
I feel like your connection isn't the best either because you keep going in and out. But just keep going. Yeah, I mean, you're closer now, so it's a little better.
I mean, if you guys should
Is there a way to raise it?
I don't think the microphone. I can start it on my phone.
You want to do it from your phone?
I guess I can try from my phone. Let's see if it works better.
Where's the microphone?
I feel like there must be a way.
No, nothing's blocking it. It's actually a brand new laptop, so.
The microphone's right here.
Am I gonna echo? Oh wait.
Are you just under Emily?
Hold on.
Go to settings.
Where? Here?
Go to under where staff videos, the arrow up.
Oh.
Headphone settings.
I don't think, oh
I
wait,
think it's. Ooh, wait, the volume.
it's all the
input?
way up, I think.
Oh, input.
Oh wait,
Sorry, it's just like really hard to hear you guys.
no.
What about now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, so
That's
the
what it
input.
It sounds better though? You
Yeah,
can
much better.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, if
we
we
fixed it.
if the service or whatever the connection is bad again, just let us know.
Okay.
So yeah, I send the list, or I have them make a list of like 30 people. I mean, you can do more, you can do less, whatever. It's just getting them started. And basically, like I said, I tell them like if you're selling dirt, like these people would buy it from you. Some people make the list in 5 seconds. Some people are like, I can't do that. So, I mean, if it's the people who say they can't do it, I say no worries, 99% of my success is from strangers on social media anyways. It's fine. So I move on, and then I literally just start them off on social media. I tell them to start from the bottom of their followers and message 5 people an hour and go up. I do 5 an hour right now. I don't know about you guys, but people are getting blocked like more when they're brand new. So I just start them off with that. But and I emphasize to them to send every screenshot. Do not answer one thing by yourself. So it's obviously a little more time consuming, but that's what you want. Like you want to drill into your new distributors. Basically, I just walk them through every conversation until they start enrolling. That's it. I don't even, if they're having a harder time enrolling, I'll give them a muted again. Do you hear me?
Yeah, no, you're good.
If they're having a hard time enrolling, I will give them the HSN post. I don't give it right away because then that just opens up like a whole other thing. Like I'm so specific with them, just with messages and cold messaging a few people. But getting distracted, sorry. I'll do the HSN post I do is like I'm looking for 5 ladies who want to grow their hair out. Literally so simple. And it usually gets a lot of attention. But I don't tag them in anything. I welcome them to our page, but our page isn't like, it's not constant like stuff going on all the time. So it's not that overwhelming. But that's literally it. I don't send them videos. I don't send them like, sometimes I'll send them like even eSuite, but sometimes I don't. It depends on the person. I feed off of their vibe and how they're like doing, you know what I'm saying? But after they start enrolling customers, if it's taking them forever to get their 4 low customers, like taking a while, but they're working and they're sending me screenshots, I add them to a group, like my newbie group chat. I have like a Facebook group chat that I add them in, maybe just to like inspire them and like, get them to keep going, because I know it can be a little discouraging if they've been in for a while and they're not enrolling. But other than that, honestly, like that doesn't happen very often. Like people are enrolling their first loyal customers quick by doing this. And it's because I'm drilling into them, merely just having conversations and focusing on enrolling customers. So that's basically the gist of it. But once they enroll their 4 customers, then I start adding them and tagging them into things and drilling into them with, life posting. But I don't go into any of that until they're enrolling their own customers.
So what I do when someone new enrolls, I always I don't have a script for it. I just always text them and I say, I'm here for you every step of the way. Just what Emily said, I want you to send me screenshots of literally every conversation you're having, and you're gonna get it as we go along and as I'm helping you answer questions. I tell them to text their friends and family, and again, I don't give them a script. I literally am like, be normal. If they're your friends and family, you can text them like a normal person. You don't need this whole crazy script about this and that and this and that. Just say, hey, I just joined this new company. We have health and wellness products. Wondering if you would like to hear about the products and help me out. Like, just be natural when you're texting your friends and family and it's like this obvious script. I think that just can turn them off. So I just tell my newbies to be natural, text their friends and family, ask them if they want to hear about the products. And the one video that I do send, it's actually from Ashley Hughes, and it's how to enroll your first 4 loyal customers. And I love what she says in there. So she goes through all the products, and she says in the beginning, like, have a piece of paper and a pen out, and as I'm going through the products, write down the product name and who you know that you think could benefit from that product. So hair, skin, and nails comes up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I remembered my aunt was talking at Christmas about how her hair is thinning. Write your aunt's name down. Then when you text them, you have specific products that you can tell them about rather than saying, I have 50 health and wellness products. Let's find out what's right for you. It's like, hey, I remember you talked about your hair was thinning, and I have this product called blah, 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 blah. So that's the one video that I have them watch. It gives them a generalization of what we do have and kind of helps them and guides them towards getting their first customers.
Do you guys have like any additional questions about that? There's like a couple of questions about enrolling new distributors.
Someone asked, so once they start enrolling LCs with your help, when you start having them do on their own? I basically, like, once they have enrolled a few with me, I'll kind of, like, if they're sending me, like, if someone sends me a screenshot and the potential says they're interested in HSN, then I'll say, like, send them the HSN script. Or if someone, like, asks for the pricing, I'll be like, what do you think you should say? And then slowly they'll just get it after that, or if someone's ready to order, I'll say, do you know how to walk them through? And then eventually they're just doing it by themselves.
Nicole, can you unmute Britt? She can't unmute herself. Brittany Grimes.
That's what I was trying to do before when I muted you guys again.
It's okay. Was someone just in the middle of talking, or can I add something?
You can go.
Okay. So I basically do the same exact thing as Emily. If my distributor is working and they're asking me questions and everything, I literally hold their hand and I walk them through absolutely every single step. So then that way I know that they know what they're doing. And then when they go to enroll their own distributors, they're going to know how to train them as well.
Exactly.
Someone goes, you have them posted all until they get their own LCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a thread called Awesome Posts in our team page, and it's pinned to the top of the page, and it's basically just like a ton of product posts, live posts, Instagram stories with pictures and captions. So they can go there at any time to take any pictures. It's going to help new distributors a lot when they don't know what to post or what to say. And eventually they're just going to pick it up on their own. Like, I always tell people to take anything from my page. Like, that's how I learn, just by watching other people post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically we all use that same thing, Awesome Posts, but I throw in product posts as they're working on their customers, but obviously you don't want to be spammy. So, I have them do the first HSN post, and then I'll have them post, the F posts, normal ones, and then a few days later I'll have them post a product post. Like, I start off slow with them, but if they want it, they're reaching out to people. So I tell them, it's merely just you reaching out. Or I do a lot of Instagram stories. That is huge, because with that, you can't, for me personally, it's harder to be spammy with Instagram stories versus like your actual Instagram page. So I kind of just like slowly bring it into that, but it's mainly just one-on-one cold messaging, drilling into their combos while they're enrolling customers.
Can you guys try to unmute yourself? Okay. Brett, I made it so you can unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll move on. Next question. I feel like a personal downfall of mine in the past is growing too close with my downline. They look at me as a friend who can tell their life stories instead of a leader who expects them to give it their all. When enrolling new distributors, how often are you in contact with them, and how do you keep combos from veering off to life stuff? I mean, I honestly think it's great to become friends with your distributors. I mean, that's me. Everyone's different. It's worked great for us. Like, honestly, we all became best friends through the business. When I lived in Connecticut, I used to do work Wednesday, and people like from all over, like within an hour or two away, would all come over. I had a lot of people local, and it helped so much. Like, we bonded, we worked together. I know Emily was over every single day. Nay was my neighbor. We were together every single day. Steph was coming like once a week, and obviously, like, people like want to feel good. So like, if you're their friend and you actually care about them, and not just like business wise, but like life wise too, like they're going to feel like cared about, and it's not going to be just business. Like, obviously, like, this is why we're doing this, but you know, you don't want to seem like selfish either. Like, you don't want to act like you don't care about their life, I guess. But as far as like it veering just into life stuff, I guess it just depends, like, how bad do they want this? Like, are they like talking you too about the business? I guess it would depend on the situation. Like, this was Allie's question. If you want to unmute yourself and like tell me more about the situation, like, is it like all your distributors, or is it leaders? Like,
well, I think that it like originally started just because I was really personal with them, and I have a lot of people like from my hometown, but I don't live there anymore. And so it started becoming more of like the conversation. I would check in with them and ask them how their day is going or whatever, and what their goals are. And it's like, it would honestly just be like paragraphs and paragraphs worth of like, oh my God, this is happening. And I just, you know, it turned into like a lot of complaining and a lot of excuses. And so it was kind of like, I didn't know if there was a way to kind of like not guard yourself from that, but keep it a more business relationship. Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, honestly, Emily in the beginning was so bad. Like, she was so negative, and she complained to me every day. I'm just laughing because it's just so funny. Like, she's so different now. And it's crazy how everything changed. I don't know if it was just like her doing self-development, or her coming over every single day because she just like wanted to learn. Like, she was negative and she complained, but like, she still like was pushing and like trying and wanting to learn. And she came over every single day, and it helped so much. And little by little, the complaining just stopped. I mean, honestly, like, anytime she complained to me, like, I just like gave her tough love, and I just told her to literally shut up. Like, I don't want to hear it.
I was just going to say that. I think like a huge part of them continuing to do that is how you answer them. Like, Cassie literally is like, no BS. Like, I would be, you know, I still work at dental hygiene 2 days a week, and I would be like, oh my God, I had the worst day. Like, I'm just so tired. And she'd be like, I don't care. So like, you just got to be tough with it, and just like say like self-development. You got to stop talking like that. And I'm kind of, you know, starting this too. Like, if someone comes to me to complain, I literally just answer with, you got to do self-development. I'm sorry this is happening. I'm sorry this. You're just feeding into it. So I think just kind of give a little tough love, and just tell them, you know, if you're talking like this, you're never going to enroll. If you're wasting your time texting me about this, you're never going to enroll. So just do some self-development.
Exactly. What you speak about is what you bring about. So, I mean, like, you can let them vent for like a second, and then if they keep doing it and it's like over and over again, like, tell them to shut up. And if they don't, like, I wouldn't deal with it anymore. Like, it's just wasting your time. You know what I mean?
If you, for me, I know, like, one of the first things I learned in this business when I became a leader, when I first started enrolling distributors, is, you know, you're not a boss. Like, you are a leader kind of deal. And now, being more into it and like really studying business more, I guess, you kind of have to be like, you have to be in control. If you don't have control, then it's gonna be a mess. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you can't be bossy, but you have to be a boss in some way. You know, you have to have control over your team. Like, that's your business too. So you can be friends, but you also have to have like, you have to have both ends, you know. I personally don't get really close with my distributors. I am to a point, like I'm there for them, but like I don't know, it's just weird. I feel like
I mean, you're close with your leaders.
Yeah, I'm close with my yeah, I guess it just develops more like later on, like the longer that they're in it or the more that we talk, like them becoming a leader, obviously, because you're talking to them more, but I don't give off the vibe that I'm like their best friend immediately.
Or their psychiatrist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes, like, when I check in with my girls, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, do you need help with anything? Are you enrolling? Obviously, my leaders is like, you know, a different story. Like, we're closer on a different level. But I don't know. I feel like with our team, it's like we implement so much self-development, like, you know, putting God first and like being like, you know, so positive that I feel like I don't even get that much of like bad feedback from my leaders. You know, like I don't, like my main leaders, like obviously we're super close, like we talk about everything, but I feel like I don't ever get complaining from them, you know. And the first thing is like you just have to implement like how important it is to self-develop and how to be positive. And the more you speak negativity in your life, the more it's just gonna come back to you, you know. And that's something we just teach them so early on that I feel like, you know, once they start doing that, that's why, you know, we develop like good leaders and rock stars, you know, because we just implement the self-development like first before anything, I feel like.
Yeah, that's something that's definitely the strongest thing that's with our team. Like we are like there's us and then it's just self-development. Like you have to be positive and you have to practice that with your girls, because if you're not practicing it with them and you're like feeling sorry for them kind of, or not being blunt with them, then how can you, you know, be serious with yourself? You know what I'm saying? Or run a business like being serious. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to have an even balance, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So there's a question in this chat about Work Wednesdays. There was never really a plan. Like literally we would just go to Cassie's house and just sit there and work. I mean, whether it was Work Wednesday or whether it was sitting by the pool, we still work the same way. And I think that's what kind of like makes our team so strong and such mass enrollers, because we literally are working 24/7. So the way we worked on Work Wednesday was the way we worked in our bed, was the way we worked by the couch, on the couch, by the pool. Like we work the same way all the time. It's just a matter of working that way with your friends around you and with like this support around you. And May's like, oh my gosh, I just got a DT. And Cassie's like, I got an LC. And, you know, everyone's just like super excited. And then you're like, oh, I want to get one too. And it's just kind of like that friendly competition, but there's really no plan. It's just sitting in a room and doing what we do.
Exactly. I just think being around like-minded people makes it so much better. And we just feed off of each other. Advice on self-development, books, videos.
Honestly, I feel like with that question, the advice on self-development, I relate everything to self-development. Like the second they complain to me, I tell them to go self-develop, or like, I don't necessarily say go self-develop. I just say you have to be positive. You have to be positive, you know, and like Cassie did, she just kept drilling it in my head. And it's, you know, if you're working and going through the motions, there's obviously the only thing that's missing is you being positive. That's something that you always say to me and still do, you know, like as long as you're doing the work, you should be enrolling, you know? So self-development is like, it like revolves around everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, there's so many books and videos. I actually have a thread in like a group that I have for my team, and it's literally a self-development thread. But we can, I can type some stuff in the chat as we go over another question. If you want.
Yeah, okay, I'll read the next question. I follow most of you guys on Instagram and see that most of your downline post the same Instagram stories that you do. Do you just tell them to copy your Instagram stories and post them, or do they just do that on their own? Do you care about mutual friends seeing the same story twice on your Instagram? I don't mind my downlines copying my product or business type Instagram stories, but I have 5 girls from the same hometown. We all went to the same high school together. I just don't know if I'm overthinking it. I mean, yeah, I've thought about that too. I think we just kind of all copy each other. We don't necessarily share it. Sometimes if like one works really well, we'll share it. But we all have such different followers. Like, yeah, even if someone did see it twice, like who cares? Like, I literally don't overthink it. Like, it's going to get all of us customers. So what does it matter? You know?
Well, that's why we have the awesome post. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't overthink it. I think you could just post whatever works.
Yeah, and honestly, like, we think about it way more than our followers do. Most of the time, they're just clicking through anyway. If it catches their eye, then they'll reply. But most of the time, they're literally just clicking. So I think it's definitely just an overthinking thing. I mean, we all post the same things. And, you know, 90% of our followers aren't the same. You might have a few here and there that are, but those ones will either not be interested or will go to work. So it doesn't really matter.
And then someone goes, how do you teach your team to post and take pictures because they're very similar? Obviously, like, Pick Tap Go is like the best thing ever, but it's honestly just all about like getting good lighting. I have a professional camera, but honestly don't even use it all the time. It's just literally like using my iPhone. So if you could take a good bright picture in front of a window or outside, like, the picture's gonna look good, especially if you edit it right. So I just think it's all about like making it bright. Don't take like dark looking pictures. If it's at night, use flash. But I mean, that's like basically it. Like, right?
I think, seriously, like you said, lighting is the biggest, and I'm echoing for some reason. But, you know, I remember in Cassie's old apartment, she used to have a selfie window. And, like, the light, we just all knew that that was the window that the light hit the best. So, you know, if this is just, like, basic photography, but if you're taking a selfie and the window's behind you and the light's coming in, it's not going to be good lighting. You want to be facing towards it. So I think just, like, make sure the lighting is good. Like she said, use flash when you can. Sometimes it's like too bright, but you know, just work with it. I mean, I'm not going to show you guys because my house is a mess, but I have this light like right in front of, in my spare bedroom, and I will stand in front of it and take pictures, and it shines right on me. And it's like having an outdoor light on me. So lighting and definitely editing is super important.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you wanna. We're marketing, you know, so like brighter pictures are going to attract more people, which gets you more likes, which gets you more people to come to you. You know what I'm saying? It's just all marketing, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. I have a few teammates who are stay-at-home moms and don't have money to go out and do stuff, so they feel like they don't have anything to post about outside of the same 3 coffee mugs, pictures of their kids playing outside, etc. Okay, I actually had some girl on my team tell me this like literally 2 days ago. So what I did is I went through my entire camera roll literally, and I sent her every single filler picture like I had that she could use. And I told her just to use other people's pictures. Like, it's okay if it's like not your own. Like, you just kind of have to get creative. Like, I'm not always doing things either, but I just have to get creative with it. I'll take someone else's picture or I'll stock up on pictures. But I mean, that's just the only thing that they can do. I mean,
yeah, like
right?
If you're out one day and you and let's say if this mom's out one day, you know, one day out of the whole month, like just have her stock up on different pictures. Like if she's at the park with her kids, or, you know, if she's at like a coffee shop, or if she's at a store, like just have her stock up on a couple pictures, or I mean, just use other people's pictures. You know, we all share pictures and we all like help each other, you know, especially with the Awesome Post thread. I think it really helps, like, especially like people, you know, who don't go out and do a lot of stuff, or, you know, who are new, they have that post thread that they can go to where they can access like tons of good posts that they can use for their own page.
So there's 2 like sides to this, to answer this question. Like, there's the obviously use other people's pictures and stuff like that, but at the same time they have to realize that there are other moms that can't afford to go out, and that might relate to them too. I mean, obviously, I think it's funny that you said, like, the same 3 mugs. Like, I get that. It's totally funny. But, like, you know, one day you post a picture of the kids waiting by the bus, or, you know, stuff like that. Not everyone wants to have this glamorous life. Like, obviously, most people do, but not everyone does. So people will relate to her, whether she's out having drinks with her friends or she's sitting on the couch with her kids. So, you know, take advantage of that too. and obviously use other people's pictures too, but don't let that mentally hold her back, because there's a lot of people that can relate to that and that want that life and don't want to be like all of us out all the time.
Exactly. Your branding, like when you start this business, like you are your own person. Like we just relate because we're the same age, like the same things, and are just a lot alike. So we are branding ourselves, and we are different in our own ways. Our posts may look the same and we talk about the same things, but there's certain things that are different from each of us, and that's what people are attracted to. Like people are going to be attracted to you being you and unique, but we also, like, our posts are how they are, and our pictures are how they are because we relate to college students, for example, or like for me, I talk a lot about traveling, and Cassie talks about certain things that she's into. It's all branding. Like you don't have to be like us or post like us to be successful,
I always have my distributors who say like they don't have anything to post. I actually had a mom who gave me this idea. And she was like, so I just wrote down everything that I do, even though she stays at home all the time. She does arts and crafts with her kids. She goes out for walks. She goes to the playgrounds. Like, you can easily make a life post out of doing each and every one of those things. Like, I don't do a lot of things, but I always just make things to post about. I feel like half is just overcomplicating it.
Oh yeah, like we work 24/7. Like we get up and the last thing I want to do is shower and put makeup on, but I have to make myself because I need pictures, and then I change my shirt like 3 times, different pictures, but that's like one day. Like all the other times I'm not a mom, but I'm still home 24/7 because I'm working. It's the same way. We just get creative. That's all you have to do.
I mean, you might come across a mom that like looks at my page and they're like, oh my gosh, she's just a 25-year-old girl, like going to the beach. She's always on vacation. Like, I don't really, that life, I'm 40 and I'm past that life where they see her page and they're like, wow, I can really relate to this girl. So, all right, Cass, go ahead.
Exactly. Okay. What are some apps they use in your business to help you get things done? Let's see what I got. Do you use Captivate?
I personally don't use it, but I tell a lot of my girls to use it if, you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time, for example, but Captivate's one. It's a lot easier to add on. You could pay for it monthly and you can buy like a cloud version. So basically you can add like 100 people at once, but then you put it in the cloud and the cloud will add those people when like Instagram allows you to, for example, because you're maxed out every hour. You can use Cleaner and followers. That's what a lot of us use to unfollow people.
I use Design Lab, Hype Type, and WordSwag to make Instagram stories.
Yeah, Hype Type is awesome. We just started using that a lot, and I personally love it so much.
Mm-hmm. That's basically, other than like literally the basics.
And Fonto. That's like I feel like I use that the most. It's where you can put pictures on top of pictures.
WordSwag. I think everyone here can all agree that our biggest app is PicTapGo. You guys say so? Oh, I was trying to type it, but PicTapGo, we all, edit our pictures with that. You can make things bright. You can make things more colorful. There's so much you could do on PicTapGo. Just obviously don't make it fake, but that's my app. That's like, I think it was invented for me.
And I use Design Lab, just for stories. Okay, so when you're working for a promotion, what do you do if the Ruby or executive isn't that committed to promoting, but you need them for your promotion? Honestly, just use them anyways. Like, this is going to happen all the time where you're going to have someone not working or stop working halfway through the month or whatever. But like, I wouldn't let that like keep me from doing my thing. Like, as long as you're always willing new distributors, like someone is going to step up.
And the awesome thing about mass enrolling is that you have so many loyal customers that you can pass that you can do it on your own, that you don't always need every single groupie and every single executive working, because you wind up with so much volume to move that you can complete it on your own. So definitely don't even overthink that, especially for the smaller ranks of like ruby to diamond.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of questions about that. Let me go in order though.
Yeah, it's pick, tap, go, not hard.
Someone asked, how do we get new distributors to mass enroll from the start? I mean, I think that's kind of unrealistic. It's kind of just going to happen with time. Because I don't think any of us just like signed up one day to be a distributor and started mass enrolling. Obviously, it comes with practice.
I mean, the more you enroll, the better luck you'll get to find
Honestly,
that one
it's just
person.
massive action. Like if you're talking to more people, you're going to enroll more. That's all it is. So it just depends like how much time you're putting into this, how many people you're messaging, how many people you're talking to, and how good you are at sealing the deal. And that kind of goes into the next question. I've gotten to the point where a good portion of my team is finally messaging 100 people a day and getting numbers and legit rocking it out, but they aren't sealing the deal. I've been walking them through convos nonstop, and when I have the convo for them to sign LC, usually on the spot or within the next 3 to 4 days, they see how I'm talking, they see screenshots of the convo with every LC I sign. But when they are messaging on their own, it's like they are too afraid to express urgency or to be pushy with the sale. How can I fix that aside from what I'm already doing so that they start enrolling, not just talking to tons of people? I mean, like for instance, like if someone said, can I wait, like if I'm talking to someone this morning and they want to wait till tonight to order, like when they're home, I always push that and say, well, spots are filling up. Let's get your order in now so you don't miss out. It only takes 2 minutes. You can do it right from your phone. And probably like half the time they always say, okay, I'll do it. Sometimes they say no, but like you have a better chance of getting them signed up on the spot than you are like if you wait around, because something can happen during the day where they're going to change their mind or they just don't answer later on. So I always push that. I mean, it's not really pushy to say that. Like I always just say spots are filling up.
I mean, last night for me, it was a perfect example. A girl, I was signing up. She's like, okay, I'm ready to sign up now. I sent her directions, and literally a minute later, she goes, can I do this in an hour? I'm like, could you swing it now? It only takes 5 minutes. You can do it from your phone, and spots are filling up so fast after the last post I posted. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do it right now. You know, like if they're having a conversation with you for the past like hour or 2 hours, like they can swing 5 minutes to place the order. You know, sometimes it's like literal seconds that take them to like be fearful about joining or about buying the product. So like, oh, I don't want to spend money. You know, so literally keep pushing, you know, and I feel like after I've like started becoming pushier, like I've been enrolling more on the spot because I'm like, girl, like what's holding you back? Like today a girl was like, oh, I can't afford the coffee. I'm a broke college student. I'm like, well, do you drink Starbucks? She's like, oh yeah, like all the time. I'm like, well, that's $5 per drink, and our keto coffee is $1.30 like a day for coffee. Like, what's holding you back? Like, that's such a cheaper option. You know, always put things in perspective for them, so they can be like, oh yeah, like you're right, like you know that makes sense.
And then for distributors, I got this from Steph. If a distributor like says they don't have money or like they want to wait or whatever reason, like the script was, do you physically not have the money or you just don't want to spend it?
Yeah, and I love saying that because it kind of, again, puts it into perspective for them. And I love to say, another thing I like to say that I've been doing recently is, I understand you don't have the money now, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to spend your money on something that you enjoy rather than all of your bills in the future? And that always puts it into perspective for them, because none of us had $99 laying around to join. We all just had to make it work. So when you put it into perspective for them, they're much more likely to enroll. So I love doing that, and it helps me a lot to enroll people on the spot. I will.
Next question is, what is your rhythm for posting? Do you follow a schedule or guide? Any specific structure to your posts? I mean, the way I do it is I do like a face picture, a filler picture, and I alternate. That's just the way I like to do it. It kind of like all like flows together nicely. I don't like people need to see your face. Like if you're in the first 9 photos, if your face isn't there, like that's not good. And you also don't want to spam it with selfies either. So if you kind of alternate between the two, it's going to look a lot cleaner. It's going to look better. that's how I do it. I usually do like one face a day and then one filler a day. I usually do like 2 to 3 posts tops per day. I definitely used to post more, but I feel like now quality over quantity. So, and then obviously utilizing Instagram story.
I've honestly never gotten that.
I've never gotten that either.
I personally veer away from other people who work for other companies. She said, do you have people who, like, if you're talking to a potential and they say, I know you really don't have limited number, I'm in this kind of business. Like, I purposely veer away from people who are in different businesses. I've never gotten that before either. I mean,
nobody ever really asks that. I think I've gotten it maybe once or twice, and when they do say that, I say I have a huge team and I can only handle a certain amount of people each month, so I open up a certain amount of spots, and this is just how many I have left. And usually that makes them say like, oh, okay, sorry for even asking, you know? But definitely don't worry about that. It happens very rarely.
Okay. How long between follow-ups do you wait, and how many times do you follow up if it's been a while? I mean, we definitely follow up like pretty much every single day. Yeah. No.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you save it all for Friday, it's just going to be way too much. I definitely follow up more on Fridays, but
I haven't done like a follow-up Friday since like I first joined. Like, I follow up every single day.
I think it's best to follow up within a couple of days so it's still like fresh in their mind than to wait a while.
My goal every time I talk to someone is to get an answer, like a straightforward answer. Like, they gave me a date or they're giving me excuses and I'm going to shut them down kind of deal until I get like that actual, like, I know what to do with that person kind of deal. Like, that's how I am personally. But obviously, like, you get those people stop answering you, right? I don't wait till Friday to message them, follow up. Like, I follow up with them the next day.
Okay. Is there any questions in there?
What's your best way to be on board? UDTs, do you have certain tasks for them? I don't know who iPhone is, you just asked this, but I went over this in the beginning. I don't know if you got on, but it is recorded. So when you watch this again, I talked about like how I personally train distributors in the beginning. I have people say, so like if people ask if they can sleep on it or if they can think about it, I always just ask them, like, can I ask what's holding you back? Or can I ask, like, what's making you hesitant? There's asking one question. Are there any specifics there? And then we can go back there. I don't know.
The next one is, how are you building leadership within your chart, especially for people you're placing under?
I actually got a really good tip from Jade the other day. I feel like it's not very obvious, but a lot of people do it already. What I love to do is when I enroll a new distributor and I place it under someone, I put me, the person I just enrolled, and the person that I placed them under in a group chat. And whenever the new person asks a question, you send their response to the leader in the group chat and have the leader send it. So that gets them learning how to be a leader, and it also shows that you're not the only one that knows what they're talking about. It shows that the people on your team are also learning and also educated. So it's a really good way to get your leaders to be independent and lead on their own, and also teach your new girls at the same time without being overwhelmed by all the people you're like enrolling at once.
That's so good.
Yeah,
I love
That's so good.
Is there more questions in there?
Yeah. When you have people who tell you straight out no, do you keep them on your friends list until then they'll watch, or do you? I never do. If people say no from a cold message, I just like. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Delete them or if people just flat out say no, I don't really say anything. Sometimes if they're like, I don't think I can do it, maybe I'll be like, can I ask why you're hesitant? But I'll never delete people because you planted that seed. They're watching your posts now. You know, maybe they don't really know what your question's all about. And then they see one of your posts and they reach out to you. But I don't delete them, nor would I follow up with them. I don't know if I answered that question right.
Yeah, I just had someone, they said no to a cold message, I don't know, 2 months ago or something. And then they bought wraps for me tonight. They messaged me and said, sorry if I came off rude with my last message, but I saw your Instagram story. Can you please tell me about what she used? And then she ordered wraps. So you never want to delete them because, like Emily said, you planted that seed. Now they're intrigued. Even though they said no, they're intrigued. I mean, that's bottom line. So never delete someone like that because they will 99% of the time, whether it takes a week, 2 months, a year, 2 years, they're going to come back at some point.
Okay, next question. How do you decide who you're going to work with for a promotion? Once you decide on them, how do you go to them about what they are working towards, get them on board, and then get them and their teams working on it?
Well, I would say, like, for a diamond chart, let's start kind of small. I would just say, okay, like, you're going to enroll, like, 4 people, like, right on the top line, right? And I would just say that you're just going to know, like, the 2 people, like, who's going to be the emerald and who's going to be the ruby, the people who are, like, working, right? The people who are enrolling with you. And I mean, me and Steph did this tonight. Like, we were kind of just working on her chart, and we got on FaceTime with her leaders that she's going to be using, and we just went over charting with them. We were explaining things to them. We were answering questions. I mean, a lot of them already knew, like, the chart and stuff, but when you're first introducing it to them, you kind of just pull out a chart and just say, you know, this is, like, the chart. This is what it looks like. Do you have any questions for me? And you answer questions. I mean, I wouldn't overcomplicate it. You know, I would just get on FaceTime with them and answer any questions that they have and just chart with them so they can understand.
Yeah, I feel like that person will kind of just stand out to you. I'm not sure if that just sounds kind of like cliche. Like for Nicole, when Nicole was just like a Ruby, like she had an attitude about her. Like, I just knew, like, she was going to be the one that was going to bust out that leg, and she did. And I just, like, called it. Like, I knew it. And then for Ambassador, that's who I used. So I just feel like, you know, like, who's working, who wants this, who's asking you questions, like, who's talking to you daily. Like, pick that person. Like, if you don't have that person, just keep enrolling. But if there's, like, one person that stands out to you that really wants this, doesn't matter if they're still a distributor or for $100 or whatever, like, use a person that wants this. I feel like it would kind of stand out to you.
I mean, Cassie always says cream of the crop will rise to the top. And it's so true. I mean, you enroll someone and, you know, you're like, I'm going to use them for a promotion. You build them a little bit and then they kind of fall off. But that one person that you put under them, even if they're in the worst spot, if they're the best person, that's who you're going to use. And if you're mass enrolling, we kind of touched upon this before, but if you're mass enrolling and you're building someone who's not even really deserving or not even working anymore towards a promotion, don't get in your own head. I think everyone on the Zoom can say that at one point they were like, I hate giving someone a paycheck that doesn't deserve it. And Cassie used to say to me, who cares? Like, you're going to get a better paycheck. Who cares what they get? So, you know, I think that's a huge part. You know, if you're mass enrolling, you could get that person a promotion, but if they're not working, they're not going to keep that paycheck. That paycheck's gone next month. They might not even be commission qualified. And that person under them is going to rise up and they're going to be the person you use. So it all comes back to mass enrolling, and, you know, those people will show themselves. It just might take them a little time.
Yeah. Also, if you're mass enrolling, you kind of have to do that. You have no choice. You enroll 5 distributors in a week and you're like building, and you need like an executive or a Ruby, for example, like, you don't know who like deserves, who's working for that executive or Ruby position. That's like impossible. Everyone just started, you know, so that's normal. It's going to happen. But just like she said, and what we're talking about, you're still enrolling new blood, and eventually someone's just going to pop up, you know, even if it's that Ruby that you did use and you got it by luck, you know, or it's a 400 box under her.
Exactly. And there's something to add to this too. So Allie added to this, once you decide who you're working with, what if once you start pushing for a promotion, say the going to be Emerald leader starts to do the in and out dance, do you just keep going or do you stop and rebuild? Honestly, like, I don't like the word rebuild. Like, I wouldn't do that unless someone physically cancels and, like, you have to rebuild the chart. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, for instance, when I was going double, Nay was my diamond, and then I had this random girl Emerald, and she really didn't do anything. And I basically got her to Emerald. I didn't just stop and rebuild it because she wasn't really working. But the next month, some other girl went Ruby, and then under her was like another person, and under her was Nicole. So like eventually like someone came about it, and I didn't even enroll Nicole. You know what I mean? So like if you just keep enrolling, and then like eventually someone's going to pop out, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And had I like held back because that girl, that Emerald, wasn't working, like I wouldn't have gone double diamond that month. I just like pushed it. You know what I mean? Like you have to be prepared though to like mass enroll. Like you just can't like do nothing the next month. You know what I mean? I just feel like some people just kind of like you have to step up. Like if people aren't working in a chart, like you have to make up for it. And that's why we mass enroll. Exactly. Like you kind of have to make up for people not working.
Mm-hmm. My mindset, and this is even how I train my girls too, is I'm not going to sit back and relax. Like I'm not going to sit back and wait. You know what I'm saying? Like if these people aren't working, then I need to make up for it. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to promote fast. It's just, unfortunately, that's not how it works, you know? Not everyone is just going to be doing what you're doing and having the same drive as you, but I'm going to make up for it. And it comes to this is where it gets kind of tricky, you know, placing under people who aren't working versus not. Like if you have a full like Emerald, for example, who literally it's dead, you know, there's not even volume there, then no, I wouldn't stack. Like I would merely rebuild. But if there's people who are working here and there and I'm pushing for like double, for example, in that Emerald, like, you know, it's iffy, people aren't really working, like I'm going to be stacking to promote myself to double as soon as possible, just like she kind of said. But it all depends.
Yeah, like that Emerald, like there was some people working in one Ruby, and that's kind of where everything kind of just sprouted. So it wasn't like a completely dead Emerald.
It depends the rank. Like
yeah, I think it depends that too. Like
yeah, like I feel like Diamond is definitely like the cutoff for, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain.
I mean, there's no exact way to answer this question, and that's where Emily's like getting caught up. It literally depends on your chart. I mean, if you're set up in the perfect situation where you have quite a few people working, then yeah, you're going to build that person that's not working. But like she said, if there's no one working under a dead top line, like then why?
If it's a Ruby or an Emerald, go for it, like 150%. Like drill in hard, stack, promote, like 150%. For Diamond, it's a little iffy. It depends. And above, like you obviously have to have some people working. But I mean, for Diamond, there's 3 Rubies, so I guess you can kind of figure it out where you aspect to.
What is your team page like? Do you give your team tasks? I wouldn't say we give tasks. We're always shouting out. So, you know, if a new distributor gets a customer, we definitely would shout them out. If someone is having a lot of conversations and they're just putting in the work and they're trying, we shout them out. Just like for any little thing, making people feel good is so important. So I would definitely shout people out all the time. But
sometimes I feel like when you give tasks, it might overwhelm people. I mean, if someone wants this, they know what they have to do. We have told them what they have to do, and it's their job to do it. You know, I personally, I'm not going to be like, you have to message this amount of people, follow this amount of people, and do this and this and this, because they should know that that's what they have to do, and they should want to do it. And if you're making these tasks and telling them what they should do, I mean, my mom used to tell me to clean my room. When she would tell me that, I don't want to clean my freaking room. I was going to do it on my own, but now that you told me, I don't want to do it. And, you know, that's kind of how I think. Like, if you're like, you have to do, here's your task for the day, I'm going to be like,
it seems like you don't want to be like a boss.
It seems like a job, like a schedule you have to be on.
And everyone does things differently too. Like just because like you do things like a certain way, like if you give a task doesn't mean like someone else does it that way. So like you don't want it to be like too
Yeah, so I think it just comes down to the drive of that distributor. And if they, we have told them what we have done to be successful, and if they want to do it, then do it. And like, let's build together and let's be great together. But, if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to give you a bunch of tasks to do because you clearly don't want it.
Is there a question in the chat? I can't really see.
I feel like the cutoff for our team in general, like we always teach to message 100 a day. Like that's just what it is, 10 an hour per day. Or how many potentials would you say you get every day? I mean, I feel like the amount of potentials we get, it all varies.
Yeah, day to day, it's all different.
Yeah, every day is different. I can't give you an exact answer. Even if you have someone working in that leg, it's good to build. But if they aren't doing anything at all and no one in that chart is, then rebuild. It depends. Like if you have an emerald, for example, and one ruby's not working and another ruby is doing amazing, then I'm going to take care of the other ruby and I'm going to promote myself to emerald. Right? Is that like a good thing? What I just said?
I think most of the time, like if you have like, let's use emerald. If you're trying to promote and you have an emerald that isn't really working, I can guarantee you that there's someone on that chart that is. And, I was just a 400 box. And when someone reached out to me and said, my enroller left right when I joined. So I was kind of on my own for a while. And like, I taught myself everything through YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And then someone above me reached out to me and was like, I think you'd be really good at this. That right there gave me like this fire that I was like, I'm literally right now a nobody, and someone thinks I'm good at this, even though I'm just a distributor. And they think I'm good at this, so I am good at this. And then, that's when I kind of took off. So I can almost guarantee that if there's a whole dead leg, someone on that chart has got to be doing something. And they just might need that extra, like Cassie was saying, we shout people out all the time. They just might need that extra thing to make them feel good about themselves that could take them. I mean, I promoted to Ruby, I think the month after that person reached out to me. So.
Along with Allie's last question, how many new friends are you gaining a day? I can't really say exact gaining what, like the number that we gain, but we add 100 people an hour. So that's what we all do, right?
Yeah, just about.
And I don't think any, at least none of the leaders really on our team use Snapchat.
No, I don't use Snapchat.
Yeah. We're not really big on Snap. I think it's just mainly Instagram for us, and then Facebook would be second, I guess, for us as a team.
So I don't really use Snapchat either. I definitely once in a while will post on Snapchat. But I wouldn't say, like, if you're considering using Snapchat, I wouldn't rule it out. Christy on my team, what she does is she saves her potentials numbers into her phone, and then she adds them on Snapchat. So I can imagine what her Snapchat story list looks like. But she adds them on Snapchat, and she actually enrolls a ton of customers just by, she was talking to someone about coffee, whatever. And Christy is like totally obsessed with the keto coffee. So on her Snapchat story every morning, she's putting in the coffee, she's stirring it up and writing how much she loves it. And she actually does enroll people that way. But that's because she's adding her potential. So that's your call. If you want to like add all your potentials on Snapchat, then I think that's beneficial.
I think it's a great idea, like you said, but I mean, me personally, I would ask, like, why are you using a social media and not using it for business? Like, if you use Snapchat or Twitter, then use it for business too. You know what I'm saying? Because then, to me personally, it's a waste of time. Why not use it for business? Because I love Snap, and I love like playing with the filters and stuff. So why not have fun with your friends, but then put some post in about the business? Like, utilize that time that you're using on social media.
Okay, there's no questions. So. Okay, how do you keep your leaders focused and inspired all the way to their goals?
I think it's honestly just leading from the front. There's nothing you can do. Like, you can exhaust yourself trying to inspire your leaders, and if they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. So I think it's just leading from the front. I mean, I have a group chat with all of my girls in it that are actually working, and everyone's constantly saying, like, just got an LC, just got a DT, and it's inspiring everyone else. The only thing you can do is lead from the front and be enrolling yourself, and that's what's going to inspire them.
Yep. That's what I tell my leaders who ask or like want to be a better leader. You know, I'm just like, literally all you can do is do your best at training and engage into them, you know, the best you can, and then literally just lead by example. Like, whenever I enroll, I love posting my enrollments. I mean, we welcome our DT, so we all see when we're enrolling, and that's a motivation for all of us. Like, in the beginning of the month, for example, it was literally, I think it was like 3 days ago or something. It was soon. Brittany told me she completed 2 steps to success already, and I was like, dang, I gotta step it up. Like, to me, that's like motivation. So, you know, I shout her out on our page because it's inspiring and I'm excited for her. And then I go and I enroll a bunch of people because, like, that's just how it is. You know, we all work off each other.
Or even like when Emily paid off her student loans, like, we have so many college kids on our team. So like, that can literally inspire every single person. Emily paying like $8,000 in one payment to pay off her student loan. So everyone posting about that and the team seeing that would definitely motivate them and inspire them to want to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, not only are you marketing for potentials, but you're marketing like for your business too, like your team to do better.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
And it's the same thing like when someone buys a house or someone gets a car. Like, I know these are like big ticket items. Obviously not all of us can like do these things, but like when someone does something amazing with their money, like, flaunt it, show it, because people are going to see that and they're going to be inspired. They're going to want to do that too.
Also, little things that I just thought of, you can ask like a higher up. If you have a newer distributor, even executive Ruby or whatever, doing great, ask a higher up to shout her out instead of you shouting her out. You know, there's something else. So we've been doing like little giveaways for our teams, and like some of the prizes would be a 15-minute training with me, or like 15-minute training with Nicole that I'm doing for one of my girls. I'll even do it, obviously not as a giveaway. I did it with one of my girls, Amanda. Like, we swapped. Like, she picked someone random and then I picked someone random, and we were like, you know, we were just thinking like, would you want a 15-minute training with Emily or Amanda? And it's just little things like that, you know, that really just gets people going. Ow. Sorry.
How do you find people whom to message, like your posts or your stories, straight down your followers, or are they printed? So I message straight from the followers. I think we all do that, and everyone does it differently. I screenshot them like in my camera roll, and that's how I go through them. You can write them down. Literally, just do whatever works best for you. But that's basically how everyone else does it, right?
Yeah. Do you just message 10 people, then follow 100 people every hour consistently, or do you sometimes do people an hour to message more during the day? I don't get that second question. Or do you sometimes, that part. But for your first question, we message 10 people an hour and we follow 100 people an hour. And posting to the story, I don't think necessarily can help getting blocked. You just need more interaction. So if you guys are getting blocked, I've been doing like little Instagram groups with my leaders. I have multiple of them, and whenever we post, we say we posted in the group, and then we go and comment on each other's pictures. You know, something simple like, you look so pretty, or love your shirt. And merely just getting more interaction on your posts brings you more likes and helps stop from getting blocked. Or do you sometimes?
I think with that being said, something that I've noticed happens a lot when you're commenting on other distributors' pictures to get them more likes and stuff. Don't comment as if you're a potential. Like Emily just said, you know, you look so pretty. I love your shirt. If it's like, I don't know, something like drop an emoji below and I'll text you, or comment below if interested. You don't want to, as a distributor, comment below and write interested. Because you never know, even just one person can see that. One person could follow me and one person could follow Emily. And then somebody goes to Emily's post and they're like, wait, why is Nicole interested? She does this. So just don't be weird about it. Don't comment, I'm interested or this or that. You want to comment like, Emily, your hair looks so nice today, because Emily's hair always looks nice. So,
As a friend, not as a potential.
right.
Yeah. Always just a compliment.
Yeah. Do you message 10 an hour and that's it, or do you message more some days? I never message more than 10 because you'll get blocked. I mean, I know Laura interacts so much. I message like 25 people an hour, but I personally don't really emphasize interacting that much. But you can play around with it. The 10 an hour just works very well for us. I think that's it.
Honestly, they all got really repetitive. So do you guys have more questions?
She's
I post like 2 to 3 times a day.
Cassie was saying before, it's more about quality than quantity at this point. So if you're posting pretty pictures, pretty eye-catching pictures, it's going to be more beneficial for you to post 2 awesome pictures than 3 to 4 mediocre pictures.
I was
Exactly.
actually reading like an article about the algorithm, and it was by a blogger that's super successful on Instagram. She was saying that she loves to post 3 or 4 times a day, but if she can only find one good quality, nicely edited picture, that's all she's going to post. And I definitely think we should try to find at least 2 posts a day, but you definitely want to make sure that your posts are really clear, like we were saying before, good lighting, and for sure quality over quantity, because you'll mess up your algorithm otherwise.
If you guys don't understand the algorithm, it's huge. I mean, it's completely different from a year ago when we didn't have it. Like a year ago was the complete opposite. It was, posting 8 times a day, but with the algorithm, you can post 75 times a day, but not everyone is going to see your post regardless. If someone's sitting there literally like refreshing their main, what's it called? The main newsfeed, like refreshing it all day with the algorithm, they still may not see your post. Like it's unfortunate, but that's just how it works. But to get up there and to get in more people's newsfeed is by having better quality and having more interaction on your page. So that's how it boosts up your posts for more people to see.
Yeah, the algorithm's like so weird that I have some post notifications on for like my potential customers or distributors, so I can always like comment on their stuff. And today, one of my potentials posted, and I literally was like refreshing the page, and it like wasn't popping up like the first. Like you'd think that it would be the first picture that popped up because she posted like a second ago, but I had to like search up her name and find the picture. So that's how weird Instagram is. So that's why you always want to post like quality pictures. Always like go in a group chat and make people like go comment and go like right away. Just even liking will make a huge difference. So you can always be on top. I don't know if you guys noticed like the next day you wake up and there's like the first post that was from 21 hours ago. That means that picture got a lot of interaction. And that's why it's like on top, like even from almost 24 hours ago. So that's like what we want to work on doing, because that's how people are going to be constantly seeing our posts.
And don't let that scare you either, because here's the thing. You're doing less because you're posting less. You don't have to really focus on making so many posts a day. But now instead of using the time to post, use the time to go interact, to get people. When someone sees a comment on their post, they're like, who is this girl? They're going to click your name, and they're going to go to your page, and they're going to see the post.
Someone said, I want to make sure I'm unmuted. I've been following up with a bunch of people, say since September, and not getting any responses. How often do you message these people? I just keep messaging them until they tell me to stop.
I personally, if they're potential customers, I don't, and I turn them into a PDT. That can go against like all sales rules because I know it's like 8 to 10 times or something. Like I rarely get up there personally. My outlook is people are more likely to invest $99 to make money versus spending $30 for hair, skin, and nails. So if I have potential customers been following up literally for 2 years, I mean, I'm not, but that are in the bottom of my text, I'll go and I'll turn them into a PDT. But everyone does that differently. I don't know if you guys do anything specific with that, like constant, like when is like the cutoff for following up with people?
I mean, for me, it's like I follow up, but it's like sometimes to the point where it's like if they're not answering, sometimes I will just change the follow up into a potential distributor follow up, even if though it was a customer, just to kind of like get their attention. If they don't answer, I just focus on talking to new people. I mean, that's like huge for me because I know that, you know, sometimes like I'll follow up with like, I don't know, like over 50 people and like maybe like no one will answer, but then I'll go and message and I'll get a ton of responses. So, you know, like I will sometimes, I saw this somewhere, like if it's a potential customer, I'll offer them a different product or I'll offer them the business opportunity and they'll be like, oh, what's that? And they'll answer and I'll strike up a conversation. Or I will just, you know, talk to new people just because I feel like new blood is like the answer to like everything. Just talking to new people and getting the word out there to more people is like more important, I feel like. Obviously, always follow up because it's key to, and like I enroll a lot from that, but focus on talking to new people for sure.
Yeah, I feel like most of us enroll a lot of our customers on the spot. So that's why Nay does what she does, and I do the same thing too. I focus more on getting a new potential versus like all that time of following up.
I actually recently have been, every time I enroll someone, I scroll up to the top of the conversation just out of curiosity to see when it started, and almost every single person I enroll was either I started talking to them that day or the day before. So it's like rarely that I'll have someone that I'm enrolling from like July, you know? I feel like if you're following up 15, 20 times and they never answered, you either need to change the follow-up to be a PDT or just move on, you know?
And sometimes just being like, you know, like if it's a potential distributor, be like, okay, girl, like I'm only gonna ask you once more. Like, are you serious about joining this business or not? Because I'm ready to work with people who are serious. Or for a customer, be like, hey, girl, I'm sorry if I'm saying something to piss you off. Like you were so interested when we talked 2 days ago, and now you're not answering my follow-ups. Are you not interested anymore? You know, sometimes just being blunt with the customers saves you, you know, from like kind of wasting your time. You know, not. But sometimes it could be like good because then you enroll them. But I get a lot of responses when I put it like that to people, and I will just be like, okay, so are you in or are you not?
Where did you leave off? How do you organize all your potentials? Don't ask me that question.
Planner. Everyone does it different. Emily doesn't use anything, and she enrolls every day. So Steph uses.
I like to use reminders on my phone. It's just easier to keep up with for me. I just copy the phone number, paste it into the reminders, and then set a day and a time. Just a lot easier than
I use
pulling out
my text messages. That's it.
Yeah, and I just use a planner. So
Yeah, and every day I randomly scroll down and follow up. I'm not really organized, but things still get done.
Do you guys have any tactics on retaining LCs? Yes, enrolling them as a distributor. You can't, I mean, retaining them, that goes back to what we were just talking about. Obviously I'm not saying not to care about your loyal customers. That's important, of course, but I rather go and just message for more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't make them try different products. I can't make them love a product. Like, but I can go and message more people and enroll more customers. So I specifically don't. The only thing I do to help retain LCs is by messaging them and enrolling them as a distributor personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can speak for all of us. I feel like we just enrolled so many that if we were going through and messaging each and every one, like every single month, it would be so time consuming. I mean, for me personally, when they enroll with me, I either send them a voice message or a text and say, text me once you get the product. I want to walk you through it and teach you exactly how to use it so you can get the best results, and keep me updated. So a lot of my customers will text me like every month, like, oh, here are my results, or like, I love it, or how can I use it better to get more results, you know? And then once they text me, once their 3 months is up and they say, okay, how do I cancel? I do what Emily does. I will say, you know, I tell them, okay, well, do you want to continue, or do you want to make money while using the product since you love them so much? Like, now it'll be an awesome opportunity for you to jump on board the business since you've been using it for 3 months, and you'll be able to talk about them so easily.
Some follow-ups we use for the same day or next day or whatever. Honestly, I'm super straightforward, and I'll just be like, hey girl, so I just found out I only have one personal discounted spot left. Do you want to take it before someone else does? Like, so simple. You know, I guess it doesn't really matter the follow-up if it's the same day or the next day. You know, I feel like almost all of my follow-ups create some kind of urgency. And yes, we cold message. That's what we do for the 10 an hour. I don't think many of us message likes. I'll have like new people do that sometimes if they're not necessarily comfortable with cold messaging. I feel like that's really the only thing. But we're huge, like we are like queens of cold messaging. Like that is how we mass enroll, because we're just reaching out to tons of people. I don't know if we missed anything. If we did, you guys can drop it quick. Oh yeah.
Someone wrote, what are some follow-ups you use for the same day or the next day? You can, you could think far into this, or you can not. You could simply say, hey, did I lose you? Were we talking at a bad time? Hey, I only have one more spot. I know you were super interested a couple hours ago, and I just wanted to let you know I'm holding it because maybe you got busy. Don't think too far into it. It truly is super simple, and I think just being a person will get you farther than trying to be a recording. If you were talking to someone, if you were talking to your mom and you stopped answering her, or she stopped answering you, you'd be like, hello. Like, just be like, hey, did I lose you? It doesn't have to be anything super scripted or super, intricate. It could just literally be, hey, did I lose you? Hey, I'm holding that one spot for you because I know you're interested. I don't know if you got busy. Literally something so simple.
If you place a DT, do you automatically link them up or let them figure it out, especially for
I think it depends how far into the business they are.
for sure. Wait, how do you do it?
I usually wait like a couple days just so I don't feel like I'm enrolling them and throwing them off, so they don't feel like I'm enrolling them and just giving them away to someone. But usually like I'll wait like a week or two, and then I'll just put them in a group chat with who I place them underneath, and I'll say, and I won't say like, this is your upline, like you go to her only. I usually just put them in a chat. Well, I talked to the girl prior and I make sure we're on the same page. And I just say, let's say I placed Ashley under Claire. I say, Ashley, this is Claire, this is your teammate. We're both here to help you with any questions that you have. So if I don't answer, you can always go to Claire for any questions. Like, use this group chat for double the help from both of us, just so she can feel comfortable. And then I teach Claire to individually text Ashley and check in on her so she can start like scooping up that distributor, and she can like start leading and start you know, knowing how to answer our own questions rather than all of my distributors, if I like that I personally roll, if I'm placing them and I'm helping all of them, it's going to be crazy. Like, you want to teach your leaders to like start being leaders on their own.
How do you talk to DTs from your team? What do you mean? So like, are you asking if a distributor, I don't, like, if you're trying to maybe like bring them back because they quit, how do we approach that if we do? I'm not sure. Yes. I kind of give my new distributors a 3-strike rule. So if I text them 3 times and they don't answer, then I don't text them again. But I don't know. I feel like me personally, like within this last year, probably did it 2, maybe 3 times max, where I literally went through all distributors who quit. And I basically was just like, happy holidays, just thinking of you. We just got, the company just announced like unlimited $100 Christmas cash bonuses. If you ever thought about coming back, like just let me know, kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I actually learned that from Jade, from something, I forgot. Especially for the distributors who enrolled during the $10 kit and then quit, like reach out to them, you know? But just, there's no exact way to do it. Just like any kind of follow-up, you know, just be straightforward and say, I'm here for you. Like, have you been thinking about coming back at all? So you guys don't have a team chat then? I mean, we all have little like Facebook ones and texting ones, I guess. It all, I don't know.
No, yeah, everyone has their own chats.
Yeah, we
For
have our own chats broken up into different parts of our team. Yes, we can post it.
I'll probably upload it to YouTube because that's the easiest way for me to do it. And then I'll just share the link. I know, but that's the only way I could do it. Especially with it being so long.
You are welcome. All right, I think we're good. You good? I think that was everything. Sorry if we missed something. I don't think we did though. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.